I was in two different shelters, and I told, I must have said something to these women about not being religious and not being a Christian. I never told them I didn't believe in God per se. I said that I am not a Christian and I do not view God the way they view God. I don't perceive God the way they perceive God. Right? But somehow they went all over the shelter telling people that somehow, people shouldn't talk to me, nor shouldn't deal with me because I am a devil worshipping witchcraft person. And I know why people's mind go. It's either their mind goes to devil worshipping or it goes to witchcraft. You do witchcraft, or you're a witch. You worship the devil when you tell them you don't believe in God. But this is my thing. This is one of my isms thing my argument to you. Number one, first thing, why is it so black and white? Why is it so black and white? Why do I have to? Is either you believe in God and you're a Christian, or you're all the way over here and you're a devil worshipping witchcraft person. Where's the middle ground? Why isn't there some middle ground here? Right? Why isn't there some middle ground? Like if I'm not standing all the way over there, does that mean that I could only be standing all the way over here? Or is there a space right next to me, or 5 feet away from me, or 10 feet away from me, or 50 feet away before you get to that other extreme end? Okay? If it's not morning, is it always only dark night? Or is there afternoon? Is there evening? Is there like mid-afternoon or whatever? Why is everything so black and white with people? And there's people that when I used to go to this resource center, back when I was on the street, they would tell you, oh, if you're not serving God, you're serving the devil. How? I could totally not be in a church serving God and also not serving the devil. But I guess in the way they rationale, the way they see it is anything that is not super Christian, anything less than that, whether it's a middle ground, whether it's neutral, it is still of the devil. And my thing is this: the people who want to talk about you're a witch and you do witchcraft because you don't believe in their version of God. Listen to this. People who are atheists, are people who, no, I am not an atheist per se, but when they are talking to me about those things, it's in the context of I am an atheist, or people like that are atheists. When you're an atheist, people who are atheists, they do not believe in, for the most part, they do not believe in God because they can't see or touch God. They are materialists. They don't believe in anything you can't see or touch. Okay? They don't believe in anything that is not physical or tangible, because to them, it doesn't make any logical sense. That's the next thing. A lot of those people are very logical type people. They pride themselves on being very logical. Now, I like logic and I love logic. It's just that I don't believe logic is the only way to perceive the workings of the universe and perceive this reality and understand this reality. but I value logic. I tell people all the time. I'm lying. I say all the time. Maybe I never told anyone that you know logic is not the only way to to what's the word I'm looking for? To to reason or to reason out this universe or to reason out this reality and to understand this reality. And I, but subjectively, logic is not the only thing that I value. I value the other side that is the other side that is also healthy, because everything has a healthy side and an unhealthy side, or everything has a light side and a dark side, or whatever. I value the other side of logic, that is the other healthy way of perceiving this universe with a spirituality, open-mindedness, those kind of things. There's another word that I can't find. Maybe it doesn't exist. I value this other side, and I value logic. Um, and logic is not the only way. But I would rather sit down and talk to people who are drastically and extremely logical to a fault than people who are not logical at all. Okay? Logic is not the only thing that I value. There's some people who don't believe there's anything outside of anything else that is, what's that word I'm looking for? Anything else involving the intellect other than logic, or anything related to logic, anything that is not related to logic rather. And yeah, but I'm not that person. I love and adore logic, but I love and adore the other healthy extreme too. That when it comes together with logic, it's very powerful, and I think that's where I'm trying to get to in my life, of being so integrated with my logical brain and my logical mind, and also that other open-minded spiritual feminine energy. It's characterized by a lot of feminine energy, but truly, I would say that yeah, I don't only value logic, but I'd rather sit down and reason with people who are extremely logical, more so than people who aren't extremely are on the other end of the spectrum, or the other end of the pendulum, is the people I'm talking about. The Christian people who, if you're not a Christian or if you don't believe what they believe, you're a devil. Those people I have to avoid. They don't use any logic at all. Okay? And I digress. People who are, I was saying that people who are atheists, they're very logical people, they're very materialist people. They only believe or mostly believe in what they could see and touch. They don't really believe, they're not in the middle at all as far as being even kind of new agey. They're not like spiritual. It's not that like somebody like me who don't believe in the Christian version of God, but I believe that there is the divine love intelligence that exists in this universe that creates everything is God. And there's nothing in the universe that is not it. And it's all connected to all of us, and everything is have that equal value in from that perspective. Everything don't have equal value down here on earth because we don't perceive it that way, but we're all connected, and we all have this innate value, and connected to this higher dimensional energy reality. Let's call it that. And to me, that is God. And really, everything that Christians believe do exist, but not in the way they believe it exists. That's another topic. So I'm just saying this to say that, people who, those people who are extremely logical, they're not even where I am. they're not. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm more in the realm of being spiritual, somewhat new agey, um, outside of the box thinker type of person. So those logical people, they don't believe in spirituality. They don't believe that anything exists that you can't see. I believe that this universe is made up of vibrations of energy. It sounds all cliche and stuff, and things that are other dimensions exist out there that are vibrating so high and so fast that you cannot see or touch these things. They're not tangible anymore, but they all exist in the same space. Okay, the same time and space as now, um, and here. So those people, they don't even believe this, but I would rather sit down and talk to them and reason with them and be friends with them than people over here who are Christians. And if you don't believe what they believe, you're a devil and you're a witchcraft. Anyway, I digress again, because again, people who don't believe in God, for the most part, are called atheists. They are materialists. They don't believe in anything you can't see and touch. They don't. So to say that are these people are doing witchcraft, or they do witchcraft, or they're witches, is a contradiction. Why? Because the same idea, the same concept that creates a God that you cannot see would be the same concept and the same energy and the same thought energy, the same thought mind energy, the same mindset, the same outlook, the same perception, the same perspective, whatever, that creates a devil that you cannot see. The same belief system, mindset that the idea of God and angels and whatever else derive from is the same place where devils and demons and all those other things you can't see derive from. Okay? The reason why atheists don't believe in God is because they feel like it's stupid to believe in something you cannot see and touch. So if I say I'm an atheist, again, I didn't say I'm an atheist, but they were speaking to me as if I'm an atheist. And when they talk about people who are atheists, they say you do witchcraft, you're a witch, and you're worshiping the devil. Okay? If somebody is an atheist, why would they believe in the devil so as to be worshiping him, so as to be doing witchcraft? I have to believe in demons and devil to do witchcraft. Okay? I have to believe in demons and devils and goblins and all this other stuff to do witchcraft. If I don't believe that these things can exist, because they're fairy tales and they're crazy and they're fruit loopy and they're illusional and only delusional people believe in them. If I have that mindset, why would I worship the devil? Wouldn't that be an indirect way to validate the existence of God? I am saying God exists by worshiping the devil. Because for me to worship the devil and do witchcraft, I have to acknowledge, directly or indirectly, that demons exist and the devil exists. It would take the same kind of mind state, the same wavelength, maybe not the same wavelength, I don't know, the same wavelength of mindset, let's call it that, to believe that God exists. Because the reason why I don't believe in God is because it's nothing. I'm not talking about me now, I'm just speaking I and in general. Nothing that I can't see and touch. So if I can believe that the devil exists and demons exist, then it would take the same kind of idea that God and angels exist and Jesus exists. Okay? For me to be over here worshiping the devil and doing witchcraft, I'm saying stuff that I can't see and touch and feel physically and tangibly exist. And so why would I be doing that? Why would I be doing all of that? Okay, and I'll say at the same time simultaneously believe that God don't exist. No, no, I'm sorry. I would believe that God exists if I believe the devil exists. Because for me to worship the devil or to do witchcraft, I have to acknowledge that they exist. So these people contradict themselves. They don't think. They do not think. Okay? The next point is, when you tell these people that you don't believe the things they believe, or you don't believe in the way they believe, there is this disdain. There is this thing where they want to ostracize you, or outcast you, or push you away, reject you, treat you a certain way. Okay? Now, number one, if you're just loving, you're trying to have the mind of Christ, and you're trying to be Christ-like, and Christ is all about love. I mean, that's not love, but this is, people say this all kind of stuff all the time. The next thing is, isn't Christianity all about winning souls? Isn't it all about winning souls? Isn't it all about winning souls, meaning getting people to join the church, join the body of Christ, the congregation, be a part of the Lord's body of humans? Isn't that the whole point of Christianity? Winning more and more souls? So, brother Christian and sister Christian, if that's the case, why would you treat somebody and ostracize them and try and treat them a certain way? And some people, they're welcoming you, but they're not. It's a kind of they're condemning you and telling you to come to church at the same time. It's an indirect way, a very indirect way to reject somebody. Okay? But isn't this thing all about winning souls? What's the point of something being about winning souls and getting people to join the church if you're going to push them away? A lot of, Christian people, they like to be on this high horse, this moral high ground above other people, and treat people, like the very, you're a devil, and you're a witchcraft person. They like to do that kind of stuff, and it's a way to push people away. But don't you want to win souls? This disdain and this what's that word I'm looking for? You have towards people who don't believe what you believe. It's also a contradiction. Because there's no way you could win a soul. There's no way people could join the church if they weren't first not in the church. If atheists don't exist, Christians don't exist. If agnostic people don't exist, Christians don't exist. If non-religious people don't exist, religious and Christian people don't exist. Okay? Because in order to become a Christian, in order to become something, you have to first not be that thing. A piece of fabric, become wet because first it was dry. Okay? A ball on the ground only goes up in the air high because it was low. Day only exists because night exists. You cannot tell me that you're trying to win souls. If this thing was all about, if it's about winning souls, you will have people who aren't Christian first, because you have to win those souls. You have to get those very people to join the church. So when you're condemning them and you're telling them that they're devils and they're descending, what do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to want to join your church? When you tell them that there's something inherently wrong with you, you're going to hell because you don't believe what I believe. It's a contradiction. Because in order for me to start to believe what you believe, I have to first not believe it. Okay? You don't win souls that is already won. People don't become Christians by being Christians. If everybody was a Christian, nobody would be a Christian. Okay? If everybody was one thing, there wouldn't be that very one thing that they are, because in order for a thing to exist, in order for this to exist, this has to exist. Because if only this exists, there's nothing to perceive it, to know of its existence. Okay? I have to be over here in the dark to know that the light exists over there. If everybody was a Christian, nobody would be a Christian. If you're going to win souls, you have to win souls that are not Christians, that do not believe what you believe. But I guess you're talking about the people who are in the middle, who are Christian-minded and they believe in God, but they're not in the church. Well, then that's the middle ground. That's the part of the middle ground. It's a spectrum. Here's you over here. You're super Christian. You're in the church. You worship God. Oh my God, you're baptized and all that stuff. Sanctified, saved by grace and all this shit. And those people who aren't in the church, they're somewhere here. The ones right the ones right here are the ones who, let's say, are in the church and they're saved by grace and baptized and all that stuff, but maybe they're not living as clean and they're not as sanctified as you. This language that they use, that is sanctified, they have not found the level of salvation you have. And then here are the people who are maybe not in the church, but they believe in God. And here's some people over here that they believe in God, but they don't really. They're here and there. They're wishy-washy about it. And over here you have the people who are probably agnostic. And over here you have some people who are between agnostic and atheist. And over here you have the full-blown atheist. And maybe in between all of those, there's still variation, nuanced variations within that spectrum. Okay? Things are not black and white in this life. There's a middle ground somewhere. Okay? There's always a middle ground. Okay, because if I'm not all the way over here, I could be anywhere in that middle other than over here, or all the way over here. If it's not pitch black or it's not pitch bright, there's some in between dim. There's some contrast there. There's some somewhat light. There is the evening dark. There's the mid-evening, and then there's the, let's say, 7 o'clock, and then you go to midnight and it's pitch black. Everything in this life is running on a spectrum. Okay? Everything is not black and white. In order to win souls, you have to first, people are going to be somewhere in the spectrum, and some of them are going to be atheists all the way over there. And some of them are going to be agnostic, and some of them are going to be wishy-washy about God and Christ and Christianity. And some of them are going to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the church. And some of them are going to be in the church, but they dibble and dabble in sin sometimes. Okay, and some of them are going to be more serious. And then you have someone over there who are super serious, and sometimes even they are the most dangerous ones, really. Listen, Yaya. I can go on my bed. I say, people fool. I tell you, because I am. I've been through some things in my. I've been back and forth with my spirituality, believing this, not believing this, believing that, believing all the way over there, and I've been through hell with people to the point where I couldn't speak my truth, and I'm still struggling to being able to speak. I developed Tourette syndrome from being having to have to always suppress who I am, because I developed a lot of mental, emotional issues, and also physical issues because of this suppression that I had to do. I had to live a whole lot of my life and my childhood in fear of hell, in fear of. I remember as a kid in Jamaica, there was this radio station called Love 101, and in the evening there would be this there was this pastor with this voice, man, that this guy was, he had a voice that was so trembling, so, I can't find the word. It was trembling, it was troubling, it was, it was unsettling. He had a very unsettling tone of voice. And he would talk about hell, and he would talk about Revelation, and he would talk about some three-head monster in Revelation, and all that kind of scary shit in Revelation. And around that same time, I would have to take my evening bath, and I would be in the shower. I didn't want to leave the bathroom. I think this is one of the reasons why there was this trend in my life of always locking myself away from the world. I think it was my way of locking away from fear. A fear of hell, a fear of people, a fear of everything, a fear of hearing the wrong things that's going to make me afraid of life, afraid to live life. Okay? And I would just lock myself in the bathroom under the shower and not want to get out. And I would be crying about hell and Revelation and the coming back of Christ and God's coming on a white horse and some are going to be thrown in the lake of fire and the trumpet is going to sound and the dead shall rise and all this some scary shit. Okay? I would be so, it would be, the fear was what's that word? Paralyzing. I would just feel my body freezing up. And when I would have to go to sleep and turn off the light, it's almost like I was seeing things. I mean, really and truly. Again, I believe in, the thought realm and the fact that the thought realm is the spirit realm and whatever you think you create. So maybe a lot of my fears was being projected out there and it's being projected back into me by me just thinking negative thoughts and creating them all around me. Many people, maybe some of my atheist friends that are watching, that would sound crazy to them because they're very logical, they don't believe in anything they can't see. But this universe is a mirror universe, and it's mirroring our thoughts, and our thoughts are mirror, and the mirror is thoughts, and the mirror is mirror, and the thoughts is thoughts, and it's whatever you think, you've just created it. Okay, you just created it. This energy that holds the universe together is electromagnetism, and okay, so I used to be able to explain this stuff really good, not so much anymore. What I could tell you is that this whole thing is electricity and magnetism is come together and in a way created the thought realm, created what we know to be dark matter, dark energy, the physical reality, the dimensions, what we know as the law of attraction, because that's what the law of attraction is. It's all about electromagnetism. It's electricity This is why they say when you have electricity in your house, you have power. You think and it creates, because that's the power that creates. It's light energy. It's really light and dark. Okay? And magnetism is, I create that thing. And the magnetic energy is the thing that's going to pull it towards me. Okay? So I created that thing with light electric energy. The magnetic energy pulls all the elements it takes for it to like collapse and be created, and then collapse in this dimension for you to manifest it. So you can't really deny, because if you're really logical, a lot of you guys are scientific too, and it means in a way you do believe that electromagnetism is real. You believe atoms exist. It's all about that stuff. You know, atoms and molecules and all that stuff is just these things are just, let's say, bigger versions of the thought realm reality. You know, that's they I mean, if you think about atoms though, you can't really see them. If you can't see atoms but you know they exist, you know they're the building blocks of this physical reality. How you don't know that the spirit world is also made up of things that's so small that you can't see them? You can't see atoms, but they exist. Anyway, I don't know, maybe I'll make another video tomorrow if I'm in a good mind state. I think when I go off on a tangent talking to myself, this is the first time I'd have to say I went off on a tangent talking to myself, and I just had to turn on the camera and do that same talking, you know, and see what happens. Because I have to get myself out of not being able to express myself, so I could start to receive the high level knowledge I used to receive, and even higher, to teach the world the stuff I have to teach, especially about racism. The biggest part of my life purpose work is racism. The knowledge I have on racism, to me, is superior to everything else I see out there. I wrote my book. Go check my book out. Are You Racist? Root Causes of Racism Nobody Talks About, on Amazon. Now, I still have to, I'm going to be honest, I still have to do some editing in that book. And there's some things I need to take out, some things I need to add. I know I'm going to do it. I wrote this book. I started writing this book. Well, I wrote the whole book. The pen copy, let's call it that. I don't know what they call that, the official word. I wrote that book within like 3 months. That's it. The whole process of editing and put it all together, it took about, let's say, I started in 2014. And I wrote the whole book pretty much in 3 months. And I didn't really publish until like 2018. I remember, because right before I published the book, or maybe, yeah, it was before I fully published, it was 2018, and a sister from Jamaica came here, and we went to Tallahassee together to see my father in 2018. Yeah, so I didn't publish until then, but I was so inspired, and I was in a good space, spiritually and inspirationally back then, but I was not in a good space spiritually and inspirationally as it relates to my social life and my real life. People didn't know who I am. Even to this day, people still haven't seen my highest potential of being a speaker, of being a teacher, of being a knowledge intuitive. And I have to really find my way to get into that. Right now, I'm in trucking school. I'm trying to make my life better. I don't want to end up back on the street homeless. And I'm trying to make sure I pass this class. I'm kind of behind everybody else with their maneuvers. Backing a trailer is not easy. The teachers are probably, I know they know they think I'm slow. And I'm slower than everybody else in the class. And I hate the fact that that's the case because I'm the only girl in the class. The book work and the little FB, what do they call it? Those little things that you have to study, they tell you to study. I did all of that. I did everything. I got everything done. There's this thing that you have to study and pass the test, just to, like, with your knowledge of trailers and what you need to do about the job and all that stuff. And I was the first one to get done. The pre-trip, that pre-trip stuff is a lot of information. But I studied and studied and studied, and I pretty much know everything word for word now. The only reason that would make me not pass that part of the exam, the final exam, is if I'm nervous by the examiner, and the nervousness caused my brain to go blank. But I just know everything word for word. Everything. But driving forward, I got nervous. The trailer before I got nervous, and sometimes I'm not moving fast enough, and the teacher's like, you need to move faster. But I'm not super, like, afraid of that. Backing the trailer. You have to back this trailer into, like, an alley so people could take out and put in and pack you up back so you could hit the road. And it's kicking my ass. And I'm behind, and my finals is coming up. I only have 1 day left of practice. And I'm still pretty behind. And I'm trying to compensate by studying, what I need to do, because I don't get time to practice other than when I'm in the class, and also watching videos. But I'm trying to get this together so I could start to build my trucking career, so I could start to make some money, so I could have enough money to pay people to help me edit books, to do, but I can't do all this stuff by myself. I'm trying to pay somebody to type over the book, because I really don't need an editor. The grammar is not going to be perfect, but it's going to be good enough, because my English and grammar skills is pretty decent. It's not the best, but it's pretty decent. My vocabulary is pretty decent. So I have to have money, and I have to have a decent paying job like trucking to do all that. Okay? So, yeah, I have to get back. I have to start living my purpose. I have to start being a speaker. I have to become somebody who could speak in front of thousands of people and speak fluently and freely and confidently, and all my knowledge is coming out. I have to start giving knowledge away, the wisdom, I have to be able to access that stuff. So spirituality, healing, prayer, fasting, come on here, self-work, self-help, shadow work, inner child work, all that stuff has to come together and work for me. They say like an asteroid in They say 2032 in December, an asteroid is going to hit the Earth. They're saying it on the news, no joke. Now, an asteroid could hit the Earth and we all don't die. But if they figure out where it's going to hit, maybe everybody could exodus that area, migrate from there and go somewhere else and let it hit. And who knows? Maybe I believe I'm one of these people who pretty much know that aliens are real. And maybe it's maybe they send this asteroid, if it's an asteroid, to Earth on purpose to kill a bunch of people. And maybe they're secure. Maybe they're going to the moon to live. Maybe some other planet they're getting ready to go to. If it's a legit asteroid that is happening from the universe naturally. But I'm just saying this to say that I gotta hurry up and figure this out. I have to, not just because I'm trying to help people to raise their vibration and heal from all the fuckery that we were taught, and also but also just to my own life purpose, to live that. Because I do believe that if you're not really living your purpose fully, or even remotely fully, somehow, you might come back here. You might reincarnate back here to live it again. I'm not sure if that's how it really works. You see, if I was on my end game, I would know this stuff. But really, truly, that might be the case. I don't want to come back here. Anyway, I think I'm done with this video. Thanks for watching, and I see you next time.